What if the world you know today was nothing like its ancient self? Picture this: a place so unrecognizable that it feels straight out of a fantasy novel. A time where humans clocked in centuries, not just decades, on their age cards. Landscapes were pure, unaltered by the expansive oceans we're familiar with, and the human bond with the divine teetered on a knife's edge. This was a moment in history where malevolence ran rampant and celestial beings mingled with humans in unthinkable ways. Myths speak of giants, the Nephilim, striding the earth. These giants weren't mere products of fantastical tales, but beings of intense power, possibly having strengths that would dwarf ours. So, before we dive deeper, let's set things straight. These Nephilim aren't angels. They're the offspring when angels and human women crossed paths. And the very idea, an ethereal being mating with a human, blows many minds. But think about it. Everything around you, from the tiniest ant to the vast skies, was conjured up by an unseen force, God. Dipping our toes into biblical scriptures, there's a mention of angels, not staying true to their celestial roles, but descending to the earthly realm for some forbidden indulgence. But the mischief of these angels and the appearance of Nephilim was just the tip of an enormous sinful iceberg. The Bible paints a haunting picture. Humans, with every heartbeat and every thought, were consumed by wickedness. Can you even fathom a world drowning in such darkness? A place where deceit, lust, and violence weren't exceptions, but the norm. The sheer depth of this malevolence brought sorrow to God's heart. Yet, in this abyss of darkness, there were beacons of light. People like Noah, who swam against this malevolent tide, earned God's favor. Their stories whisper to us from the annals of time, telling us that even in the grimmest hours, there's hope. Looking back at this era, we get a front-row seat to humanity's deepest lows. It's a somber reminder of the chaos that can ensue when we stray away from God's light. But here's something even more mind-boggling. At this time, humans didn't just celebrate a 100th birthday, they were around for centuries. Picture the knowledge and experiences one could amass in 900 years. Methuselah, the biblical figure, is famous for clocking in 969 years. But here's a twist. Some believe his name hints that upon his death, a significant event would unfold, the Great Flood. Such long lifespans brought stability, but with it came problems. While the wisdom of centuries was at everyone's fingertips, those entrenched in wickedness had longer to spread their malevolence. Yet, beyond humanity's actions, there's speculation about the physical state of the world. Was our environment different, possibly influencing humans to live longer? And was the Earth's geography a singular massive land before the continents were torn apart? Let's ponder for a moment. Before the vast oceans we know today separated our continents, could it be that the world was just one big landmass? Many suggest that this land may be referred to as a supercontinent, existed in a time now lost to the depths of history. Why does this idea captivate us? If true, this massive land would have held all of humanity, every animal and every plant. No oceans to sail, no islands to discover, just one enormous, unending landscape. Picture it, a world without borders, without the dividing lines of our continents. Cultures, peoples, and creatures all together, maybe even living in a kind of harmony we can't comprehend today. Along with this geographical speculation, consider the environment. If people genuinely lived longer back then, could the world's atmosphere have played a role? Some theorize that the air was richer, possibly with more oxygen, which could potentially support better health and longer lifespans. What if the climate was stable throughout this supercontinent? Instead of the diverse climates we have today, there might have been a consistent, balanced weather pattern that affected everyone. Imagine, no icy poles or scorching deserts, just one moderate climate all year round. This could also mean that food and resources were abundant. With a consistent climate and vast stretches of land, plant life would flourish, providing ample food for both humans and animals. No famines, no droughts, just a bountiful earth. But everything has its challenges. With such abundance and long life, could it be that overpopulation was an issue? Or perhaps territorial disputes emerged as people spread across this vast land? Without the natural barriers of oceans and mountains, how did communities establish their boundaries? Animals too would be affected. Without oceans to divide species, the animal kingdom would be incredibly diverse, with creatures we can't even fathom today roaming side by side. How did humans interact with these creatures? Were there more domesticated animals or more wild beasts? Such speculation also leads us to wonder about technology and transportation. In a world without oceans to cross, was there a need for ships? Were the wheel and the chariot invented earlier? Or were there other, more advanced means of transportation lost to history? Let's consider culture and language. Without continents and oceans dividing groups, how did languages evolve? Was there a single universal language spoken by all? Or did dialects and languages develop based on regions and tribes? Piecing all these speculations together paints a vivid, almost dreamlike picture of the world before the flood. It's a glimpse into a version of Earth that might have been, an era shrouded in mystery but rich in wonder and imagination. Piecing together scientific theories with biblical accounts, some believe the Earth was once a supercontinent, which only fragmented during or after the Great Flood. A seismic event that not only flooded the world, but possibly reshaped its very bones. Imagine then, living on a massive continent, basking under a uniform climate surrounded by lush greenery. These were the playgrounds of our ancestors, giving us insights into their daily struggles and joys. In reflecting on this bygone era, it becomes evident that the essence of life isn't about its duration. It's about the heart's alignment with a higher purpose and embracing every day in tune with that divine rhythm.